What's up, my podcast listeners? This is your host, Rafael Majaszewski, and no, I am not in my car this time. Had to switch it up because, sometimes you just need to blare some music to kind of get you going for the day, but I'm going to try to keep this short, but knowing me, I'll probably ramble on, but I'm going to do my best to keep this under 10 minutes as my, car vlogs kind of go, but we're going to kind of continue doing the entire mental health theme for the next couple episodes here, because I think after this whole pandemic, again, I'm no expert, but it almost seems like things are getting back to normal depending on where you are in the world. And we definitely have what I call like COVID fatigue. Like we're pretty much done. We're kind of at our capacity, hence the name for this episode. But I think now that we've kind of been in this for 2 years, and there's still some things that we need to adjust. Our economy took a big hit. Things are getting expensive. Gas prices are ridiculous, depending on where you are again, but I would assume that it's kind of all over the world. And I think we're all kind of at our limit. And that takes a toll on us. If you audit and take the time to think back to the last 2 years of your life, that first year was just fucking a dumpster fire of a year. For most people, they had to stay home, they couldn't work. Depending on your situation, you may not have had an income at all. You had to self-isolate, depending on what your living situation was. Maybe you were living on your own, no contact with anyone outside. That takes a toll. Then trying to get back to work, figuring out what the hell Zoom is, and adapting to the norm of wearing a mask and going to the grocery store and doing everything you need to do to function as a human being and somewhat feel normal, and eventually break out of bad habits. A lot of people either picked up the bad habit of stopping exercise altogether. I know a few people where they were super consistent, and this whole pandemic just fucking destroyed, shit kicked them in the face when it came to consistency of coming back. And you might have picked up some weird eating habits, drinking habits. I know personally for me, for a while there, when everything shut down and I was trying to flip my entire business to online and switch to the gym online, switch to the clinic to online, I'm not gonna lie, I was fucking drinking every single day, because what else do you do? And when things started opening up, I was like, okay, so I guess I'm gonna stop. And it was actually really tough to stop. So I think a lot of us took a toll. And now that our world's kind of reopening, you can travel, you can go on vacations, our capacity to take on new stresses is so low. And to kind of give you an example, this pandemic kind of put you at your limit, and you were there for a really long time. And now magically you need to just come back down here. But then you also, as you're trying to do that, you have all this other stuff kind of jamming its way in, and it's now pushing you back up top. Because for a lot of parents, they had to bring their kids back to school, and there was all these new COVID protocols, and you were just like, I just want to drop my fucking kid off so I can go to work and not do all these extra things. So any new stress being put on you is just going to take that much more from you. And I think this is one of those times where the world literally needs to heal together and not make situations, shittier than they are. But to kind of not go on a tangent about the whole pandemic, but I think everyone's capacity right now is just at its limit. And when it comes to mental health, you can only take on so much. And especially for me or any kind of healthcare profession, it's one of those professions that you have to constantly give. And you have to like physically and like be in the moment to remember to give stuff back to yourself. And then there's those people that are just really, really empathetic. Those people that are responsible for keeping the family together, the person that's responsible keeping all the friends keeping in touch together, the person responsible for everyone else's feelings but themselves. And that takes a toll, a huge, huge toll. And what I'm kind of trying to get at is that you have to be a little selfish to yourself. You know, I'm constantly in this headspace that because I work with people every day that are in pain, looking to lose weight, looking to get stronger, I want them to succeed. And I will literally do everything in my power to make sure they succeed. But on the flip side, I tend to forget about myself. I tend to forget, like, you know what, maybe I don't have to work a 14, 15, 16-hour day to make sure everyone else is all right. Maybe I should just take the afternoon off. And to this day, I still have a challenge to do that. Like, right now is a good example. You know, it's 4:55, been up since 6 a.m., started working on stuff at 7, literally came home and spent a little time with the wife, and right away I'm like, okay, I gotta go walk the dog. Right away came back, started looking at my laptop and started doing some admin work, and then I'm like, you know what, I didn't do my podcast in my car like I usually do. I need to get it done. So now I'm doing it. And guess what I'm probably gonna do after this? I'm gonna go edit this, I'm gonna go post it, I'm gonna go, you know, make sure everything uploads correctly, and then I'm probably gonna open up my email. I'm probably gonna do a couple emails really quick, and I'll be like, you know what, I also should probably do this thing. And then I'm like, oh shit, I should probably go work out because I haven't even worked out today. And I'm probably gonna have to come back, quickly make some food, and then I'm gonna probably go back to my laptop. So in my entire day, there's small little breaks where I try to do things for myself, but on the grand scheme of things, I would say, you know, 80% of the day is all work-related stuff that's for other people. And I actually don't physically remember the last time I gave myself an afternoon off, you know, just to like do nothing. And it almost scares me to like think about that concept of doing nothing because it's just not like in my DNA. But I need to learn how to do that because I've been doing this for so long. Like the people that got time off during COVID, like the first, I don't know, 4 or 5 months where they didn't work, I was working nonstop. Haven't really taken a vacation since then. And like, it's just, you know, it's embedded to me. But the first step is kind of being self-aware that I'm constantly working at my capacity and I can only do so much. And part of it is other things in my life going on right now, but if those things improve, I could probably be able to take on more if I took some time off. And the really weird thing is that I'm taking a trip this August, and it's kind of a 2-parter trip, and I just realized that in the first time in my life, I'm actually taking 2 weeks off. And it's going to be one of those trips where it's really going to be difficult for me to do any work. I'll probably try to sneak it in on my phone, like, you know, do some emails or some posts, but it's going to be really difficult to even sit down on my laptop because this trip is going to be really busy for me. But it's kind of like an unbelievable thought that for 2 weeks, I'm not going to be doing anything for work. It's kind of freaking me out, to be honest with you. But, you know, I have conditioned myself that I have to keep busy all the time. But in hindsight, that maybe that's probably not a good thing for me, you know? And how many times have I spoken about self-awareness on this show? That's literally the first step. A lot of us are probably just living in denial where, you know, they just got to keep trucking along. And you see those posts all the time online, or like, oh, you have to keep going, you have to keep grinding it out. But at what point do you need to actually stop to actually like recover? You know, it's not quitting if you take a break. Remember that. Every sport analogy works here, where every sporting event has timeouts, has breaks between periods and quarters, or wherever the sport is. There's always a break. Give yourself that break. I'm gonna end it there because I feel like that was like the best way to end this thing. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Capacity is a big thing. We need to take more breaks as human beings, especially nowadays where we're constantly on the go. Hit the show notes, add me on Facebook, add me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I think we're literally like 5 people away from hitting 400, which is huge for us. Because every time I get a new subscription, it pops up to more people when people are searching stuff up on YouTube. And ideally, I would love to hit 1,000 by the end of this year. But again, thank you guys for the support. Thank you for everything that you guys do. That's it for me, you guys. Until next time.